Welcome back. Check the Pulse podcast. I'm here today with one of my good friends, Rita Stranges. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello. So happy to be here.
I'm happy you're here. I'm happy we're about to dive into this conversation.
Yes.
But before we do, go Leafs go. It's game 3 tonight, okay? The game is on right now. So if I scream in the middle of this podcast, it's because the Leafs scored. Is this our year? I don't know, guys. I'm not holding my breath with it. But let's go. Anyways, let's dive into this. Why don't you explain to everybody a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your journey, and we'll get right into the conversation.
Amazing. I'm so excited. Go Leafs go. I don't know what's happening. But
I love that.
But so yeah, I'm Rita Stranges and I'm the founder of Sondr, which is a experience brand focused on wellness, spirituality, and just becoming our best selves, coming together to be amazing peoples. We run events, we have special drops, and it's just a fun time.
Yeah. I like that. All right. First question before I dive into any of that.
Okay.
Sondr. Where'd you get the name and what does it mean?
Sondr. So during COVID.
Wait, just listen to what you just said that. Sondr. It's like a feeling.
It is a feeling. And you know what? It's so funny you say that. Me and my friends always joke around now. We're like sondering and like sondering through life. And I'll literally catch people.
Yeah.
Like in mid conversation, and they'll be talking about something.
Yeah.
Like I had a friend actually come over a couple nights ago, and her dad passed away recently.
Yeah.
And she was just saying like, I'm sitting here at Othership, on the subway, and like no one knows what I'm going through.
Yeah. And
she was like, I'm sondering. And she said it like nonchalantly, and I was like cleaning the dishes, and I was like, oh my God. It's working. Like the vision is visioning.
Yeah.
But Sondr is the unique realization that everyone has their own story.
Holy shit.
And we are all just passerbyers in other people's stories.
So it's kind of like Matrix vibes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And how did you even like find that?
So
I feel like that's like a definition to like a sentence. Like not a sentence, but more of an action that's happening.
Yeah. So funny story. It was during COVID. I think this guy, so it's the Obscure Dictionary of like Sorrows, it's called.
Okay.
And it's not your regular Webster dictionary.
Okay.
It's literally a dictionary this creative man coined.
Yeah.
And it's a bunch of words that we haven't put definitions to, but we all feel these certain emotions and feelings, and he's put words to those. Feelings. So there's a whole bunch of them.
That's sick.
And the one that stood out to me, it was during COVID, was Sondr.
Yeah.
Because like COVID, we're all reflecting, like we were all isolated by ourselves. And I feel like collectively, as we were in the world, it forced us to like slow down.
Yeah. 100%.
So of course, when you slow down, you reflect more, you're more self-aware if you're open to it.
Yeah.
So going through, I don't even know how I stumbled upon it. Searching or something, and I saw the word Sondr. I'm like a designer at heart, so like I took out the vowels, so it's Sondr.
Okay. And that makes sense because in your logo, I like the way it looks.
It's just very clean.
Yeah,
and the only like uppercase letter is like taller letter is the S.
Right.
Everything else is like all leveled.
Yeah.
So it's again. The unique realization everyone has their own story, and we run these events where like people come, we're vulnerable. We don't just like everything I do is with intention.
Right.
So whether it be a yoga class, whether it be meditation, whether it be just a new experience at a new place, like we just had an event at Equinox.
Yeah.
And that was just so beautiful to get 45 people together in a room.
Yep.
No phones. Just connecting soulfully with each other.
Yeah.
We had a beautiful practice with my amazing best friend, Anastasia, and she led the practice. And it was just beautiful. Everyone left like smiling. The guy at the front desk at Equinox was like, I've never seen people smiling so much and like just so happy and free after this practice. Because again, when do you get the time to be in a room with like-minded people and literally just focus on improving yourself?
Yeah.
It was like an hour and a half, the whole event itself. And yeah, it was just so beautiful.
And I think like you spoke about intention, right?
Yeah.
And intention, like we've even spoken off camera about this, how
Yeah.
it's so crucial when you're doing anything in life.
Yeah.
So when you started Sondr, okay, you got the name, but what made you start Sondr? Like, at what point were you like, you know what, I'm going to start this kind of community and this movement?
Yeah.
Was there a shift? Were you going through something that made you realize, I want to provide this for other people? What's the story there?
So I worked for a marketing agency for 5 years.
Okay.
And I was always building brands for other people.
Yeah.
And again, when you're building these brands for these amazing people, you learn so much about them and like what it takes and stuff like that. And I was like, ugh, all these people have purpose and like all these people are telling their truth through their brand.
Yep.
And I was like, why can't I?
Yep.
So my therapist actually
Yep.
was like, you have to do something creative to like get out of this rut. I was in a rut.
Yeah.
It was a low point in my life.
Yeah.
And I was just burnt out. And it was a time where I was like, I need to fuel my creativity muscle.
Yep.
How can I do that? Let me start a brand.
Yeah.
So my first drop was like, I got all my friends to model. My brother and his girlfriend modeled. I had to pull teeth for my brother to model. Yeah, I remember too. He was so mad. He's like, I'm not modeling. I don't want to do it. And like his girlfriend like made him.
Yeah.
And I remember the first few posts that I had, he would literally, we were in the same house at the time.
Yeah.
And he would literally scream at me, being like, I don't want my face on camera.
Oh my God.
Like all the pictures I had to post was like him not seeing
like
himself.
not direct.
Yeah, like not direct.
Yeah.
Then the second shoot came along and he was like so for it. So I just had to like pull the Band-Aid off to be like, it's okay, you can model. Because that's so out of his comfort zone.
Yeah. I feel like for a lot of people, modeling is actually.
It is. And like at the end of the day, that's what Sondr represents as well. I had to push out of my comfort zone to create this brand.
Yep.
And I hope to inspire others, because once you push out of your comfort zone, that's when the magic happens.
Yep.
That's when stuff starts coming together, coming aligned, because there's just so much this world has to offer.
I agree.
And when you're so stuck in your ways and don't push past that threshold, it's just a whole new things start happening for you, and it's so beautiful.
Yep.
So a little bit of a tangent there, but back to your question of why I started it. One, my therapist, God bless her. And two, I wanted to tell my truth to the world.
I like that.
That, I think, was the biggest thing for me. And I didn't realize that until the second year.
Okay.
So I'm a designer, content creator at heart.
Yeah.
So I was just pushing out content.
Right.
And I was doing it from the heart.
Yeah.
Like I was like, okay, I want this sort of vibe.
Yeah.
So the vibes are very like elevated, elegant, very stone and minimal, white, and just very elegant.
Yeah.
I wanted that vibe. That's who I've always been. I've always been that minimalistic person.
Yeah. But it gives elegance and class.
Yeah.
But in a way of community.
Exactly.
Like that's definitely what I get when I look at your logo and how it's done. Even the page.
Thank you. And the biggest thing too is I had this team of creatives. Like I had my videographers, I had my photographers, I had my models. And when we got into this room, it was so beautiful to just see everyone connecting and like having so much fun.
Yeah.
Like it's not your typical like photo shoot where, okay, we have to get to this.
Yeah. Here's the shot list.
It's structured and like I had a shot list, but it's just when people like that are creative in the room, everyone's just doing their own thing.
For sure.
And they feel so comfortable being there that the work just speaks for itself.
And I think it's also because it's a community and not so much business driven. You give people that lax feeling when they're in rooms like that with you or with people on your team. It's like, hey, we're just here to have a good time, spread good energy, and it shows even just in your yoga event that you had. Even now, like you're posting a lot of content and recapping it, and that elegance, that class, but that good, like clean energy is what's there. That's the best way I could explain it. Is like you're attracting people that are very like-minded to you, and I think it's because you started with good intention, not like business money driven intention.
Yeah.
And people can read that. They want to be in a room with people like that. So now you get 5 of your friends that are like-minded and they're there. I see that. I'm going to bring 5 of my friends. Now you're just growing, and now it's not even a community, it's a movement,
Yeah.
right? So I think like that's amazing. Kudos to you on that. And
Thank you.
I think a big differentiator for you too was not only the fact that you didn't start it as a business, but like you didn't rush to also get it started. Like you kind of just did it with your heart and did it with flow. And I tell people that even in business, like I have my own company and it's not so much a community,
Yeah.
it's just a business, but I didn't rush to get it off the ground because it's coming from your heart and people can feel that, you know?
I love that. You nailed that.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
literally what was happening.
Yeah.
I didn't have time.
Yeah, because you were working full time.
Yeah.
I was working about every other brands, and this was just a side thing.
Yeah.
This is my whatever they call it, the 5 to 9, the 5 to midnight,
you're-
whatever it
you're-
was, the weekend.
Not your 9 to 5, you're 5 to 9.
The 5 to 9.
Yeah, yeah.
The weekends, and like it was just so fun for me, and it brought me so much joy. And I remember the first shoot, I was just so nervous.
Yeah.
And then after, I literally called my best friend, and I was like bawling.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, there's something here, and I love this.
Yeah.
And it was like happy tears because it just felt so good, and I felt so accomplished to do something for me.
For sure.
And that was something that I've always struggled with always caring for other people
Right.
rather than myself. And that's something that I work on all the time. And it's gotten to a point now where I'm able to see my brand evolve.
Yeah.
And it's me speaking my truth.
Yep.
And the truth being that everyone has their own story. We just have to lead with love and lead with kindness.
Yep.
And that's all the world needs. Like, it sucks because I know so many families, we all have family issues. We all have issues with friends.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so hard, men especially, for them to be vulnerable.
Yep.
And I just want a space where people can be vulnerable and tell their truth. By telling my truth, I hope that inspires someone else.
Yeah.
Well, it starts from you, right? Because you're
Yeah.
the leader in the pack.
Yeah.
So it's like if they see you be vulnerable, they see you open up, you know, they see you bring a certain energy, naturally you follow.
Yeah.
It's like, have you ever watched Cobra Kai on Netflix?
No.
Okay. So it's
But I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like the karate show
Yeah, yeah,
based
yeah.
off Karate Kid.
Yeah.
And it's very simple. The concept of when you watch it is like, you know, the sensei, the leader in the dojo, the energy that he brings is what's reciprocated.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's like now you're doing that with your brand that you're putting out there.
It's all energy.
Exactly. And people can feed off of that. They can read that, whether it's online, through a video, in person. Even that day at Equinox, if there was other members walking by, whatever, they can just feel the energy, the collective. It's like when you walk out of an exam and everyone looks pissed off. They're either pissed because they feel like they did like shit. They're happy maybe it's summer break. Like, even if you're going to approach that person, the first thing you pick up on is their energy.
Yeah.
I can come at you happy. If you're mad, I'm going to be like, whoa,
Yeah.
what happened in there?
Yeah.
You know?
It's
So-
all energy.
Yeah. And what I think is really nice too is how you said, you know, you've struggled with putting, well, you've put people first and not so much do things for yourself.
Yeah.
This is a combination of both.
Yeah.
Because now you're doing it for you and your truth and your voice is coming through it. But in that, you're healing others,
Yeah.
which is really beautiful.
That is beautiful.
It is.
It's literally, it's what it is. I love it. I love it.
No, it's so true.
And as you evolve,
Yeah.
your brand will evolve.
Of
And
course.
there will be growth with that, right? So
Yeah.
was your yoga event the first event you guys did?
Yes.
That's
That's
cool.
the first ever.
So you started, because you mentioned obviously photo shoots, but we didn't really touch on it. So you started with clothing.
So yeah, sold clothing, and still we're gonna have pop-ups and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But the first 4 shoots were just a bunch of creatives coming together to shoot the clothing that I would purchase.
Yeah.
And then we'd sell it to, again, like friends, family, and then as we kept growing and growing, people would come on the bandwagon and like start shopping. And then I was like, I want like all these amazing people to come together.
Yeah.
So why not an event?
Okay. There we go. There's the
So
transition.
that was the first event. Next event's coming, Club Soto.
Ooh.
So I'm super
love it there.
excited
when you
for
do
that. In the next few months.
Okay.
So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
It'll be either a meditation event or some sort of breath work type event.
Yeah.
But again, like getting people in these places together and experiencing something they've never experienced before, it's the best feeling.
100%.
It's literally the best feeling. But going back to your point about evolving.
Yeah.
So with this brand, as you go through my Instagram,
Yeah.
you'll see, and I did not realize this until
Okay.
after.
Okay.
When you do like, you stop for a second, you're like, okay, let me like reflect.
Yeah.
As time went on and every shoot went on,
Yeah.
there was a different energy
Okay.
or vibe to the shoots.
Yeah. I could see that.
First one, very playful, upbeat music, happy time in my life. The most recent one, I realized like after I was going through some dark times.
Yeah.
And this shoot was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I have this vision. I want to do like everyone's wearing Sondr. No matter what they're going through, no matter what their profession is,
Yeah.
like we're wearing Sondr as a collective
Yeah.
to really speak each other's truth
Right.
and working to our towards our goals while wearing Sondr.
Right.
It was very, what's the word? It was very like depressing
Okay.
and very like low, moody, very mysterious.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I looked back and like that time was it was winter.
Right.
And it was a very
It's
low
like a dead season.
energy, like mood. The content turned out amazing.
Yeah.
But I remember asking them, I'm like, okay, I have this vision. I want it black and white. And the reason being is because it was a dark time.
Right.
It was like right after Christmas area.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
around that
That's
time.
literally like depression season.
Right, when we're not
Yeah.
really doing anything, everything's on a standstill.
Yeah.
And then I look back and I'm like, okay, I dictate the way my shoots go.
100%.
My creative direction is, yes, you can be inspired by different people,
Yeah.
but it comes from your heart.
Yeah. For sure.
And in that moment, I wanted to just show that everyone has a different story.
Yeah.
And they're able to just be them no matter, because in life, like people are going to talk, whether you're doing bad or good or so cliche to say, but people are going to talk and like it brings you down sometimes.
100%.
Like there is times when like there's triggers that happen, but why don't we lead with love and why don't we just uplift each other? And
Yeah.
that's hard to do sometimes. So this whole shoot was around that, and like all the music is very moody and like very like downward rather than upward.
Yeah.
And then the Equinox event was like right
The
back
spike
upward. Yeah,
upward.
the spike.
It's like
We're on the up.
We're on the up. We're on the up. Spring's here. Summer's
Yeah.
coming.
The sun is
Yeah.
shining. Like we are good.
But I think what's interesting, and this just came to my head.
Yeah.
So obviously, yes, a lot is you dictating, you know, those shoots and how the direction the brand's going. At the end of the day, like I said, like you're the captain, you're the leader, so you steer the ship. But you could look at that and be like, okay, so the content was beautiful and maybe it was more moody and more like the downside of things because of also the times that we were in. However, majority of people are also feeling that at that time. So even though you made the content like that, it was very relatable for a lot of people at that time. So it's not like you're making it in the middle of summer where people are like, this is depressing. Like,
They're
why is it black and white?
happy,
Right.
confident in the summer.
Exactly.
Right.
So like you're human just as everyone else. So odds are if it's like even involved with like a seasonal feeling, people will relate to that, which I think is very neat. And because again, this is a community, it's a movement. Like you can fluctuate with the times and how you put yourself out there rather than like some businesses have to always kind of be one way all the time because that's what they want to showcase, right, for clients.
Yeah.
Whereas you, it's like, hey, you're feeling like this, you're feeling down today, like we got you, we feel you. You know, you're feeling happy, you want to go run 30 kilometers, we got you, we feel you, you know? So I think that's very neat and special. Do you have like I just thought about this right now, or do you have or are you going to make like, you know, like call it maybe like a group chat or something for everyone that is kind of part of your Sondr community so they can all connect and like vibe with each other?
It's been a thought.
I think
A recent thought.
I think you should.
I know.
At
You're
your
inspiring
events?
me. I'm gonna go home and do it
No,
right now.
for real. At your
No, yeah.
events, like take emails, whatever QR codes,
Yeah.
this, that, and like you'll just start to create this like
A
wholesome
community.
community.
Yeah.
It's not business. You're not selling,
No.
you know, courses. You're not selling PDFs. Like it's just, hey, you want to be heard? Pull up.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
Exactly. And yeah, it's exactly that, and that's just like another avenue to what we're building.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like even so, I'm part of Monday Girl, which is
I wanted to go to the last event and I
Yeah.
couldn't make it. But I
Aw.
heard it's good though.
yeah, it is so much fun. Like those girls are so inspiring. Like they pull off the most amazing events. And it's a small team and they're running these events all over. Like they're in the States, they're in San Fran, they're in Toronto, Vancouver. But these events, like you meet so many like-minded people.
For sure.
There's so many people there.
Yeah.
But your odds of meeting those people, and I've met girls there where they're like, I only go to Monday Girl events. I don't leave my house. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, again, Toronto is a lonely place.
Yes.
And yes, there is times when you just feel lonely. It's good and bad. I think to be successful, you have to be alone and you have to be comfortable with being alone. It literally rewires your brain to make you stronger. But you also need that balance and you need that connection.
Yeah.
And for that Monday Girl to bring that for people and to hear that, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm like so grateful you're here.
Yeah.
And like you've come out of your comfort zone to do that salsa dancing night or come to a networking event and like put yourself out there and like get ready and get dressed up and like get out of your comfort zone to connect.
Yeah.
Like how beautiful is that we get the opportunity to do that?
It's true. And I think like that even ties into the points you mentioned earlier where it's like taking risk and getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
To me, I always say like if you're comfortable, if you don't take risks, you're going to stay comfortable. If you're comfortable, you're complacent. If you're complacent, you don't grow.
Yes.
Like that's how I just level it in my head. And I'm not saying I'm always uncomfortable. I definitely sit in comfortability a lot as well. But it's just reminding yourself of that. And like even just that girl saying that, like that's all, I'm happy she pulled up, but that's also sad. Because it's like, everyone deserves to have happiness and to be shown love. And if they're not getting love from their friends or their family, there are other people, there are other humans out there that are going through what you're going through. And being uncomfortable showing up to these events, you're now connecting with them and you will feel that love that you're missing from even strangers.
Yeah.
Like, I think some people think that to be touched internally, like in your heart, it has to come from those closest to you. But in some situations, those closest to you actually cause more hurt than love, So
They
I
love you
think,
so much.
yeah.
It's like that unconditional type of love where they just want the best for you.
Right.
But those people don't know how to show it all the time.
No. And what I think, I heard this recently where it's like, even with your parents, we often forget sometimes it's their first time being a parent. So it's like, it's easy to shit on them, especially when you're a teenager. Like me and my mom fought like we were like cats and dogs for 4 years of high school. But as I get older now, I'm like, okay, she was actually just acting out of what she knew and what she was privy to knowing and her knowledge base at that time. So she was genuinely just trying to do the best she could do. But I saw it as like she was attacking me. She hated me. She didn't want me to have a good life. Obviously no one's perfect. So there's things you could improve on. But now it's my job to take those things and change them going forward, right? So it's the same thing with like those in your circle, your friends or other family. They're doing the best they can from what they know. And a lot of the time when people project negative to you, I actually gave it away. I was going to say when people are acting negative towards you, they're projecting. So I have this thing now where like I try, if people cut me off or a moment where I'm about to get really mad, I'll just tell myself, hold on, what are they going through today? You said earlier, everyone has issues in their own way. My parents always said to me growing up, you don't know what happens behind closed doors. And you don't.
You don't.
Do
and
not.
again, we're all Sondring.
Yeah. Literally, we're all Sondring. That literally reminds me of the Matrix. Do you believe we're in a Matrix?
Yes. Let's not get into that today.
Why'd you say it like that? You're just like...
I've had too many spiritual awakenings to not know that we're in a Matrix.
I agree with that. Some people know we're in a Matrix, but don't want to do anything about it.
Yeah. I know. And there is those people out there. And again, that's life. Like,
everyone's on their own path.
Yeah. Everyone's on their own path.
My
and like,
thing is, though, you're on your own path.
don't project.
Correct. And like, don't shit on people for being on their own path.
Well, that's the whole thing too. Like my biggest thing is lead with love. If I'm not leading with love and if I feel like some sort of tension, I'll try to unpack it. And again, like it involves cutting people off. If those people are not going to reciprocate what I reciprocate to them, because everything I do is like intentional.
Right.
And like as you grow older, like you lose friends and you lose lose parts of yourself.
For sure.
And it's very sad.
Yeah.
But if you're on that journey to become your best self, why be stuck in the past?
Yep.
And to me, it's like you have to keep moving, and you don't have to break free completely.
Yeah.
Like you can still have those acquaintances and have those people in your life that you go to. There's three things in life for people. All people care about is who you are, what you do for them, and the value you provide. Right? So those three things, if you don't have those, and if you don't know those in someone else, the energy is going to shift and you're going to break off.
Yeah. And
you're going to go your own ways. And God bless you for doing that, because it's just not in alignment. And you never know. It's a good thing. Maybe you reconnect in 2 years, 3 years when you're in different stages and you've evolved enough.
Yep.
But yeah, boyfriends, girlfriends, sisters, brothers, like we're all evolving at different places.
Yep. Well, I mean, like if you look at it from a very like scientific perspective,
Yeah.
we are all energy.
Yes.
And like you are meant to radiate love.
Yeah.
That's literally
the
stably
strongest
as a
form.
human. Yeah, like on the scale of like vibration.
Yeah.
It's love and then greed, fear. I don't know. It's one of the other ones.
Wow.
So it's like you're meant to move out of love. When we're not operating out of love, no one was born that way. They were born an innocent baby. So it's like they've obviously gone through things that are making them act the way they act, right? And like even just to touch on growth. As you get older, you know, having friends as adults gets harder because everyone has different priorities now.
Yeah.
Everyone is definitely on their own journey. You're not in high school where you're around each other all the time, or elementary school or university or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you said, it's not a bad thing to break off or to even just have distance.
Yep.
Like I'm a believer that not every friend has to hold the same value or the same place.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean I love you any less. It just means that I come to you when I need a hard slap in the face, wake up call. I come to you when I just want to be consoled because I know you're not going to tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Like each person holds a role, and I actually think it's beneficial if you have I think I'd say like 3 or 2 like ride or die, my girls, sisters, like I'll take a bullet for you.
Yeah.
But they both provide like different advice, right?
Yeah.
So I know who to go to with what, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like growing up, I felt, you know, in high school, it's always, well, you're my best friend and best friends for life. And
Don't leave me.
don't leave me. Yeah. And like, you can't do this and you're going there without me. And,
Yeah.
you know, all the high school drama. And it's like, really, you're putting a lot of pressure on one person to hold all that weight, you know? So yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing at all that if you create that distance, it's all part of growth. And if someone's meant to be in your life, they will be. Same way everything happens for a reason, right? So you'll rekindle, you'll reconnect. And like you said, shedding. Someone walks away, you kind of shed a part of you with them. Because realistically, the distance will happen because of either they're growing and you're not aligning, or you're growing and they're not aligning.
Yeah.
And that's it, right?
It's magical.
No, it is.
And I think it's, again, back to everything's energy. Like, that's the magic of life.
Yeah.
Life, if you look out for those things, like I look for the positives and the good in people and the good in situations.
Yeah.
Yes, times get tough, but as you said, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
It's so funny. So, quick story.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone who I no longer talk to,
Right.
but he reached out.
Yeah.
And I'm on the phone with him, and my evil eye bracelet broke.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
and
End the podcast.
And I was like, and it's like a heavy duty evil eye bracelet. It's like one of those like metal Alex and Annie's.
It's like it served its purpose.
And exactly. So, and this was also a time in my life where there was so much transition. I was moving jobs, like lots of changes was happening.
Yeah.
And that moment, for people that do believe in that, it protects you. Like when it breaks, they say it's protecting you from evil.
Yeah.
So it broke, and that was like a sign. There was many signs, but
were you just like?
But I was like stunned. I was like, this is crazy. I was like, wow. And again, like what you said, you have those conversations. They're hard conversations,
but there's something that you have to have. And I actually changed it to, I found this other Alex and Annie bracelet, so old.
Yeah.
And I have it on today, actually. And it says, everything happens for a reason.
Oh, nice.
And
One of those, the
And
small
it's like
ones.
the same, like,
Oh, that's
one
sick.
that, like, it was. So this was the evil eye.
Yeah.
And then I changed it to everything happens for a reason. So it was funny you said that.
I like that.
Yeah.
I really like that.
It's
I
cute.
know I want one of those bracelets.
Yeah, there's is when the phase of like Alex
No,
and
Alex,
Annie
I have
was
a bunch
thing.
of those
Me too.
bracelets.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
not with everything happens for a reason.
Yeah,
That I like.
it was like there was the big
was like-
popularity.
it
like
was.
I had like 5 of them, 6 of them, all on my wrist. It was crazy.
You notice when there's like fads and trends like that, it's like when you
That
have
was
to
one of
gift
the
give
best
that year,
trends.
100%. But when you have to gift give that year,
Yeah.
you know where you're going.
Alex and Annie was the go-to. It was like those silly bands too. Remember those silly bands?
I used to wear silly bands up to
Oh
here.
my
My mom would be
God,
like,
one of those.
then we would trade at school, and then my elementary school banned them.
Yeah.
And I was like, you
It
asshole.
was getting out of control.
It was, yeah.
Okay, I just talked to my Gen Z cousin the other day. No, this is crazy.
Oh, no.
There is
Don't
this
make me
thing.
feel
We're being
old.
nostalgic now.
Okay.
I was like stunned. So there's this new trend in the high school. She's in grade 12.
Okay.
And it's literally an app.
Okay.
They all have a person.
Okay.
They know where that person is at all times because it's like location based.
Okay.
It's her grade 12 class.
Yeah.
And the whole objective is they have water guns.
Oh my God, senior assassin.
What the hell
My brother's in grade
is
12.
this?
Yeah. No. So last year,
This is
I-
a
no, I
crazy
can't, I can't.
concept. I was
I
like,
can't.
this, like our fads were like Webkins and like
I can't.
Polly Pockets and like brats, and
So-
like now they're with water guns and freaking
Goggles.
goggles.
So
it was
I was
crazy.
coaching the girls at my high school
Yeah.
last year, the grade 11, 12 girls,
Yeah.
senior girls. So they, I just like, I'm seeing them. They're talking about senior assassin, whatever, and like they would like tell me like what they're doing on the weekend, or like hanging out in the parking lots, and they're like, "Fuck, I don't have my water gun or my goggles or whatever," and I'm like, "What is this shit?" So I've never really asked in depth then, like
Yeah.
what it actually was. I was just like, I'm old, and they would come up with like, not come up with their lingo. They would say things like, "Oh, like you have Riz," and I'm like,
Oh,
what
God.
is Riz? And and they're
Wow.
like, but they just looked at me like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And then I realized, I feel like I was in grade 12 yesterday, and I was not. So then this year, my brother's in grade 12. So my mom, I don't know if we were hanging out or on the phone, and he said, no, we were in the car. We're driving back from Easter, quiet. And he goes, oh, I'm like, what? He's like, I need a water gun.
Oh.
Like, why? He's like, senior assassin, and I need goggles. And I'm like, what? So he went, and they're supposed to have these like little water guns. He went, his friend bought this like
Those big ones. Yeah.
beast, because you each have a person,
Water
right?
gun sales are through the roof right now. I'm sure.
100%,
'Cause
but
this
I
is
just,
an
like,
American
the-
thing too.
Yeah, but like the concept of it, like already when I
crazy.
saw it last year, I was like, wait, so I'm already old because they're like, oh, you didn't have this? I'm like, no.
we wouldn't be
not at all.
allowed. My father and mother would
Literally kill me.
like,
I know this guy's going around,
into
he's like,
someone's
I need my
house.
goggles.
They go into people's houses
And what then?
and they literally spray them.
Yeah.
but they have to be let in by the parental guidance.
Yeah, but they literally do it like anywhere. Like these, like
And
the
then they'll
girls would
video-
tell me they'd be like in the parking lot at McDonald's, and like I think you have to wear the goggles or something
It's
to
crazy.
be not it. And then I said, first of all, if I was in grade 12 and someone was just soaking me with water, I'd snap.
And what if you're like doing something in your house? Like
Someone just comes in. No, I'd literally snap.
it's crazy. But yeah, it's fun. I guess they're bored.
It's fun, but it just goes to show how times change.
Times are changing, and it's funny because like I'm interested in the app part of it. Like the whole like software and plan, and she had to pay $5, and I'm like,
Yeah.
who is running this operation? Like
No,
this is a
But
business
they
move.
they don't even talk. They don't text. They Snapchat message.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Like I even said with my brother, like with his like, I'm literally outing him. I love you, but like his like best friends, his like
Yeah.
whatever, like they all Snapchat
Snapchat.
message. But it's not like it's wrong. Like even if they have to like hit on people or ask for numbers, they don't ask for numbers. They just go, "What's your Snapchat?" And we did
it's
it
kind
too.
of cute though,
Okay, but like
because look, they can send pictures and videos.
but
and,
like conversations, full conversations,
yeah.
everything is Snapchat.
I know.
We had Snapchat too.
Do they ever
up
pick up
and
the
coming.
phone? I feel like they're scared of the phone.
FaceTime.
Okay.
FaceTime's their vibe.
Cute.
Yeah, because even like when I was like the girls I was coaching, like if we ever had to like talk or they wanted to like call me randomly to like be funny,
Yeah.
they would FaceTime,
Yeah.
and I would just be like, why don't you just phone call? They're like, who phone calls? And I'm like,
Oh,
okay.
how dare you?
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm old. Like I had so many realizations coaching this group of girls.
Of course.
I was just like,
it's like crazy. I can't even imagine like going into high school right now and like seeing
no,
people and,
it's
like,
getting worse and worse. Like even just something like just texting, like I was saying, that trips me out. Like I'm like, what do you mean? So our family, we text my brother. He barely answers. He's like, oh, I'm not on my messages. Like, it literally comes up.
That's hilarious.
Right? Like times change. And I think though, speaking of energy and times changing and nostalgia, like the way we were raised compared to, even this generation in high school now, they're still pretty good.
Yeah.
Take the kids growing up now
Yeah.
with technology and where they're at. They don't
so-
even know how to interact with each
No.
other.
It's
It's really
they're
bad.
and they're tired. Like their brains,
Because
the
they're
amount,
straining.
they're straining their brains, and the amount of dopamine hits that they get, and that false narratives that they're telling themselves from comparing and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like we should be grateful that we had the balance of both.
Yeah.
Like growing up, I'm a 97, so like I grew up going on bike rides
Yeah.
and like meeting my friends in the park and stuff like that. But also I was on the computer and like had the old school computers.
Remember
playing-
MSN?
Oh my god, MSN was my shit. I love that. And like we'd FaceTime call like
Yeah.
I remember me and one of my friends, she would call me every day after school, and we'd be on MSN for like 2 hours until
And you'd have to get like I remember
The
to get the
webcam.
webcam.
Yeah,
the
the
webcam attached to
webcam.
it. Or
And it-
Skype.
Skype. Yeah, we would Skype, and it was just so like fun. Oh my god, that seems like forever ago.
Right? No, but like it compared to where they're at now with
Yeah.
technology, like
It's too fast.
it is. It's really
It's like fast, and it's like you can send a Snapchat video and tell your whole day in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Where we had to hop on a call, talk about it, and it was very slow. Like it calmed our nervous system.
You were also more in the moment.
Yeah.
Because now it's like so easy to like
Pick up your phone.
Yeah.
And like, go.
Yeah. Pick
That's
up the
why I
phone, all
love
that.
doing podcasts.
Because you
like,
just
look,
talk.
you just talk, and then you don't have your phone. It's like
Yeah.
a very conscious conversation,
Yeah.
and no distractions. Like
No.
the only distraction is like we're thirsty.
Yeah.
So we're gonna drink some water.
Yeah.
Right. But it's just so beautiful that we do have social media because we're able to keep in touch with people
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's like people need to have that balance. And my biggest thing, like one of my main values is nervous system, like keeping it balanced
Yeah.
and calm. Because I've been through a time where I was like 230 pounds.
That's
like
crazy.
just my hormones were through the roof.
Wow.
And just so you can't think straight.
yeah.
When
yeah.
your nervous system is not calm,
Yeah.
there's nothing going on up there.
No,
You are
yeah.
in fight or flight,
Yeah.
and you are just getting through the days.
Yeah.
And it's so hard. But when you become healthier and you become more clear-minded and you're eating healthy and you're putting good things into your body,
Yeah.
like that's when the magic happens, because you're able to you're more hyper-aware.
Yeah.
And you're more in tune to what's happening around you, and you're aware of everything. Like I notice things that are just crazy, and I like piece it together, and again, like it's just these little magical moments that people forget because they're so distracted.
Yeah.
So
100%.
the whole self-awareness and understanding who you are, it works.
No, for sure, for sure. And I think even too, it's funny because now on a few podcasts I've had this come up,
Yeah.
and I love that so many people that I'm having a conversation with have hit a point in their lives where they've realized the importance of self-awareness,
Yes.
and not only realizing the importance of it, but accepting it. Because
Yes.
a lot of people
It's
know
hard to
they need to
accept.
be self-aware,
Yeah.
but they won't do it, or they're scared to because they're scared of what will come out in that journey. Right. So I think, yeah, like to your point, like self-awareness is massive, and, eating healthy, being healthy, getting in the gym, going for a walk, even if it's just like, if you have a desk job, you're sitting 8 hours, get up, like take quick breaks if you can.
Yeah.
Your mind, your body, and your soul, it's all connected.
Yeah.
So they all have to be in alignment. They all have to be healthy. If,
Yeah.
you're eating junk food and barely moving, you're gonna feel like shit. Like it's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, there's not right? Like it's literally, you're just going to feel like shit. You're eating healthy. Even if you just eat healthy, don't go to the gym. I don't care. Just eat healthy.
Yeah.
Your mind will be that much sharper.
Yep.
Because it's like, wow, I'm getting fueled, right? It's like putting bad gas in your car. You're not going to go anywhere, or something can happen to the
Such
car.
a good analogy.
Clean gas,
Yeah.
you're booming, you know? And then the more expensive cars needs the cleaner gas.
Yeah.
So it's like, you want to be the Ferrari or you want to be the box car? I don't know. Like, you know?
No, it's so true. That's such a good analogy because our brains are so special.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy. I can't even think about it that like our brains
so
control our whole body.
And like
That
part of our brain.
that organ.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like a part. And it's so precious. Like I see my older grandparents too, and like one of my grandfathers has dementia.
Yeah.
And then my other is 91 or 92.
Yeah.
And he is so with it still.
Yeah.
And the reason being is he's constantly staying active. He's still sharpening his mind. They play cards.
Yeah.
They do like Scrabble, and they like play games, board games and stuff like that to keep the mind stimulated.
Yeah.
Because when the mind goes down, the whole body goes down. That
100%.
mind body soul connection. So it's so interesting as we get older. We see other people get older
Yeah.
and just see like the different shifts. But yeah, that's life.
For sure. And I think like interesting you brought it up even with your grandparents, because like my grandfather had dementia really bad. And like he ended up passing away from it.
I'm
But like
sorry.
it's okay. It was during COVID. So like
Yeah. Aw.
it is what it is. But like life, you know? But it was sad because like out of our whole family, like I was the first one he forgot. And like I will never forget the day of like visiting him in the nursing home or whatever, wherever he was. And he always had the most excitement with me because I was the oldest grandchild. So when he saw me, it was always a special glare in his eyes. He always acted different. That day, he was just looking at me like I was gonna kill him, like a complete stranger.
Yeah.
But everyone else, he was good with. So I was like scared, and I wasn't a kid. This was literally
Yeah.
2020. So this was like what, 5 years ago?
Yeah, and there's
And-
so much uncertainty. Like
Yeah,
what's happening?
Exactly. And I was just like, I was looking at my mom, and I'm
Hard to
just like, why
process.
does he kind of look like he's gonna attack me, and he doesn't know me? And then I was like, oh my god, like, did he forget me? Because we knew he had dementia, so we knew he was gonna hit a point where he was gonna
Yeah.
start forgetting.
Yeah.
And when that happened, like I remember I just ran away crying, and it just, that whole situation then obviously started forgetting everybody else, and
Yeah.
it just hits you like our life is so precious.
And those are people that who've raised you.
exactly,
Like
and
those
it's like
are your
you,
loved ones.
Yeah,
and,
and, like,
you don't
just-
expect your family to just forget about you.
100%. And it's like nothing will ever be able to explain the feeling of staring into someone's eyes that you've
That's so
loved since you were a child, and they're looking at you blank.
Oh, I'm so
Like,
sorry. You
No,
had to
no,
go
it's
through
okay
that.
now. Like I could talk about it,
Yeah.
but like
But that's
it's-
so hard.
it's
That is
hard. And I was saying
literally-
even like I'm the grandchild. Like
Yeah.
my dad and his sisters, it's even harder. That's your dad.
Yeah.
Like, and blank, like completely blank. Like just like, and to me, I'm like, wow, my brain, as healthy as I can keep it, like as much as I can do, I'm gonna try, because that is always a possibility. It's hereditary, it's genetics, it's
Yeah.
too many concussions. I don't know. Like things can happen.
Mhm.
And you know, you try to avoid that phase
Mhm.
because yeah, like that organ's just so precious that it operates everything. And once his brain started withering, everything started withering.
Yep.
And you could see it firsthand. And once it hits close to home like that, you have this whole other realization of like, wait, this is real.
Yep.
This isn't my friend telling me about their story or something on the news.
No,
this
it's happening.
this was in my
Yeah.
home, you know? So like, yeah, like just to touch on your point, like the brain is beyond powerful.
Yeah.
Like even I think about stuff like, you know, if you're not feeling good, like I was feeling under the weather this week, and you know, there's two ways you can go about it. You either sit there and say, I'm getting sick, I'm not going to do anything, da, 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 or it's like, okay, I acknowledge I'm starting to not feel good, but let me still try to go about my day without overexerting myself. So I'm kind of fighting against it, you
Yeah.
know, like you're fighting that energy from almost trying to enter you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Brain's definitely a powerful tool.
It is.
I just went on a whole tangent about the brain, but
The brain is precious.
it is.
We got to keep that safe.
It scares me because I've had so many concussions, and like with my grandfather, they were like, "Oh, it was all the concussions he had." I spiraled after I heard that.
That's
I started telling my mom, I'm like, I'm going to get short-term memory loss. It's like, this is why I don't remember. I remember things from years ago and I don't remember things
Yeah.
yesterday.
It happens. And like again, I feel like our brains are over exuding their power
Yeah.
with our phones. Like these, and again, that's like what the world and society has trained us to do. And it's like, that's why people go on retreats.
Yeah.
And that's why people disconnect and go into the I had a client once actually. He would take 3-4 months off and just go in a forest and unplug.
Do you think that it's sad that people have to try so hard to find peace because of how much technology we're surrounded by?
I think
Like, do you think having that peace, like, for example, our parents growing up, they didn't have the technology.
yeah.
So, like, the peace was more accessible.
Because like again, as humans we search for peace.
Yeah.
Like we want peace, we want calmness,
Yeah.
we want comfort,
Yeah.
and we want to feel safe,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But I do believe again, like, and I think it's a Canada thing. Like I just think we just work to the
Yeah.
bone.
I think
And
North
it's
America.
Yes. And I believe that we work to the bone when it's not necessary.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to build and make money without working yourself to the bone.
Yep.
Because like at the end of the day, like people just are motivated by greed and you're like getting sick over it.
Yep.
That's not a good life. Like that's a miserable life. And I feel like back to your question, I feel that there should be a balance.
Yeah.
There's phases in life, there's phases and there's seasons where you have to work extra hard to reach your goal that you want to get to. But at the end of the day, you need that balance. Like the most successful people, they don't work to the bone.
Yeah.
It's a slow ride.
Yeah.
And what happens is they figure out who they truly are. They start embodying who they are.
Yep.
And then those opportunities come to them.
Yep.
And they break it up. They're selfish. They work hard, but then also take 2 months off and go travel the world and go disconnect, whether that be even just a bath. Is that
No,
if that's your
literally.
disconnection, or like going to the ocean or going to a retreat in Bali or something like that. Like if that's your outlet to be at peace with yourself, then do it.
Yeah.
Because why live this miserable life with money and just grinding and grinding and grinding and like forgetting about everything else?
Yeah.
It's that wheel of life. Have you ever heard of the wheel of life?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's all the different buckets. There's the finances, there's the spirituality, there's the family, there's the friends and connection. And life's about being balanced.
Yeah.
There's no right way of doing it. But at the end of the day, I believe that if you just make sure that it's balanced enough where you're staying true to yourself, you're happy with your family, you're happy with your friends, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yep. I agree.
Right?
No, I agree.
So yeah, I think it's a balance. I think, yeah, social media helps, but it's discipline. Like I deleted TikTok, I deleted Instagram. Instagram's hard though. Sometimes I always get it back
Yeah.
because of my businesses and stuff like that.
Well, yeah.
But there is periods of times where I delete the apps off my phone because I just don't want to see it. And I need a mental break.
No, for real.
Right? So it's like the discipline of doing that, all in moderation.
Yep.
Like it's my big thing is like all in moderation.
For sure. And I think now, like, there's so many apps that are coming out.
Yeah.
There's this thing called a brick you can buy. Even Apple's in
Wait, what's a
still-
brick?
It's like this. I keep getting advertisements for it. It's literally called brick.
Yeah.
And it's like square thing,
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know how. I didn't really dive into it.
Is it like
But
the
I
old
know
school
that-
phones?
No.
No?
So it's like almost a key to unlock your phone.
Oh,
So it locks all these apps
cool.
and things.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the only way to unlock it is you have to have your brick. And it has to like tap or scan. Yeah, it's like extreme. So I saw that.
Sometimes
And
you
I'm
gotta
like,
do what you gotta do.
you gotta. And I'm like, you know what? People complain even if they don't have self-discipline.
Yeah.
There's so many things out there that you
Just
can
go on
now
Amazon.
leverage that it's like you can't blame social media
No.
anymore. There's Instagram has like a timer thing you can put on. Apple now you can like lock apps. You can change.
It's just, are you
screens.
willing to do it?
That's the problem.
And are you willing to change your life and get out of what you always know?
Yep.
That's the biggest thing.
uncomfortable?
Yeah.
But I think it's when people see it, because I used to do it in high school. I don't do it now because all my businesses and the companies I manage
Yeah.
are social media.
Yeah.
But when I was in high school, I used to do it a lot. I would delete Instagram for like
Nice.
a month or 2 months, especially exam season, university, no social media. I had none. And I was at peace. I would like drink my coffee in the morning and be like, oh, like just in this daze of like, I'm in another world. And then it was actually weird because I remember when I would first re-download the app, I almost didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I was so overstimulated and overwhelmed.
You're overwhelmed.
Yeah, I was like, do I like things? Do I go look at what I meant? Like,
Do I look at every ex-boyfriend I ever had?
Yeah. It's like, wait, what? Oh, you did this?
Where's
Oh,
he
you
going?
did that? Oh,
But again, we're comparing and we're just being consumed by that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's a crazy world we live in. But
I also feel though that because of social media, like we were saying, it is a benefit. You get to, stay caught up with people and it's nice. You don't always have to have conversations.
perspective shift too. Like
For sure.
it inspires me that people are doing as well as they do
100%.
because it's like, okay, if they can do it, so can I.
For sure.
Type of thing. Like
Yeah.
it's inspiring to see that, but it's like how much?
Well, it's how much,
what
but
cost?
it's also like I feel that because of social media,
Yeah.
others now feel privy to other people's information. So, for example, I go on vacation.
Yeah.
I like to travel. I haven't traveled as much recently, but I used to travel a lot.
Yeah.
And people in my life would know I would travel.
Yeah.
So there were some trips I did not post until I was back.
Yeah.
I would get messages. If people knew I was away, they'd be like, why aren't you posting? We want to see the photos. Like, da, da, da.
Aw.
And it's like, but no, like
You
I'm
wanna
enjoying
keep it low key and
yeah,
you
I'm
wanna
enjoying
enjoy
the
your
trip. When I'm
time.
back, I'll
Yeah.
post.
Yeah.
That's a very simple example, but
yeah.
I think that
I want to live vicariously. through
right.
you.
But someone said that to me.
Yeah.
They literally DM'd me and was like, I live vicariously through you. And I was like,
Interesting.
I don't know how to take that. But my point is just that
a compliment.
yeah, I was
Maybe.
like, okay, you know what? Maybe I live a good enough life. It's cool. You were like, okay.
Yeah.
But my point is that people think that, well, just because something big is happening in your life and I
Yeah.
have you on social media, I should know about it and you should post about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. Like, I will post what I feel I want people to know and what I want to share at my own time.
Because how much are we sharing? Like, what's the line? Like,
No, for real.
right? Like,
What's the line? Like, but everyone's line is different.
Yeah.
Because to me, like, maybe I don't want to post family.
Yeah.
But then maybe you want to post only your family all the time and every gathering and this and that. And
Yeah.
this guy only wants to post work, but
Yeah.
everything about work and his beef with his manager.
They're all sondering.
They're all sondering. Literally, social media is a video game of people sondering.
Just a highlight reel.
A highlight
of
reel.
People
I like that.
sondering. People actually sondering. It's the deep, dark side of people
Yeah.
that, they need to figure out.
But there's a lot of times I'll just like be driving and I'm like, am I crazy for thinking this? Like, I'll look around and just think to myself, all these people are going through different shit right, now.
Right?
This guy's driving.
That's
I don't know where
Sondr.
he's going. That's Sondr. Literally, it's Sondr.
Literally sondering.
Like, there's so many moments in my life I have that. Or I'll be at a red light, people are crossing
you
the
know
street.
what my therapist once said to me?
What?
When I was going through it, she goes, this is so
I
funny.
love the way you say that. When I was going through it.
When I was going through it, she said to me, go for a walk and look through people's windows.
I do that sometimes.
Because, and like,
Wait,
not
hold
in
on.
a-
Not to cut you off, because that sounded really creepy. I just meant that, like, as I'm on walks, I look and be like, oh, like, I wonder what they're going through. I don't go look in people's windows.
no, it's just like on road view.
Yeah, because I said that, so I was like, yeah, I do that. Not what I meant.
It's
Continue.
just road view. But it's the idea that, and again, I'm in downtown Toronto.
Yeah.
Like, this is even better for me
Yeah.
because we're surrounded by windows
Right.
and people. But the whole concept, the whole theory behind it was you see these people in beautiful houses and beautiful areas, but they live normal lives.
Mhm.
They're sitting at the table with their family, eating dinner, home cooked meal, watching TV. Like, life doesn't have to be so fast.
Yeah.
There is a slow way to do things. And that's how I run in my entrepreneurship businesses
Yeah.
is like very slow because, and at times it is fast. Like
Well,
there
that's
is
natural.
always going to be like a fast period, but you don't have to go all the time.
Yeah.
There is a way to slow it down, not to make sure you're doing the right decision, but to make sure there's intention behind the decision.
Yeah.
So by looking through people's windows, you can see a perspective shift. It's like traveling,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You go to different countries and you see different ways of doing things.
Yeah.
With this idea, simple concept, go for a walk and see how other people are living, because yes, you can have everything in the world from the outside, but inside you are just sitting watching TV with your dog.
It's true.
So that was, I did it a few times. I didn't like do like peeping Tom, but like when I would walk by, I'd just be like, look, their lights are on and like they're watching TV and like just being normal and they're relaxing, and it's okay to relax.
Yeah, no,
You don't
100%.
always have to go. And I wish my younger self knew that earlier,
Yeah.
because I feel like throughout my whole life, it was always like spiking the cortisol and just going, which it doesn't have to be.
No, but I think going back to North America,
Yeah.
that's what's pushed here is
Yeah.
life has to be lived a million miles a minute.
Yeah.
Because, you go to Europe, for example, it's the biggest comparison people
Yeah.
make. They're so happy. The majority of them have way less,
Yeah.
but they literally like live to live. They last longer, first of all. They're healthier. Outside of the whole lifestyle of them just having a healthier lifestyle, like they just genuinely enjoy life. They'll
Yeah.
just go on the beach with their family and be the happiest people in the world.
Yeah.
Send a bunch of North Americans, the sand's hot, the ocean's cold.
Complaining
The-
about something.
Something. The sun is on my left side. I can't. Whatever.
It's
the chair is
so
not reclining. Like,
crazy.
but it's just we're
Why
always
though?
finding a problem.
Why do you think?
Because we're raised, I believe, with more privilege than they are. So we're raised in societies where, everything's already kind of given to us to a certain point. Even if you have to work, it's still kind of there. Everything we have is so grand and
Yeah.
luxe. Everything they have is not grand and luxe. Like they
Yeah.
could walk in this room right now and be like,
Yeah.
my cousins came from Italy. I'll never forget. They walked into my house and they look like they walked into the Taj Mahal.
Wow.
Meanwhile, growing up, I was self-conscious. I had a small house. All these people have big homes. I'm like, well, they're going to think our house is small,
Yeah.
whatever. But the year before, we were in Italy at their places. Way smaller homes, but full of so much love.
Yeah.
So you walk in and you're like, oh, like I love to be here,
Yeah. And knickknacks and
Yeah.
like everything's so modern now and
Yeah,
everything.
they don't care about like materialistic or
Yeah.
name brand or being perfected. Like, this is my home.
I
Come
love
in.
that.
Come in
So
with your
cozy
shoes.
and welcoming.
Yeah, here it's like they're coming.
But that's
Is
how
the,
they feel
like,
safe. Like that is like
100%.
safety for them.
Yeah.
And like that's how I grew up. Like my family's home, there was very clean, but
Yeah.
there was like color and like
No, but I like
just like
that.
stuff everywhere, and it was so welcoming and cozy.
Yeah,
And like I remember like I had a purple room.
that's so cool.
Like full on purple, and everything was purple, and I had those beautiful like those like princess drapes.
yes,
And like my mom put it on top of my bed, and like that gives character.
yeah.
Now my room is pure white.
Oh, for sure.
Like, my
Modern,
room-
minimalistic.
My whole house is pure white
Yeah.
and beiges and just like so minimalistic.
Yeah.
Because because our world around us again is so fast that we want to live simplicity, and that's my calmness. Like I work a lot and like go through like so much chaos, and like living in Toronto, so much go, you're always on the go. My condo is my safe haven.
Yep.
Where it's at peace. So I have to design it at peace. And to me,
Right.
that's simplicity
Yeah.
and modern and very minimal.
For sure.
So yeah,
Well, that keeps your brain calm, right?
it does. Yeah,
But,
it definitely
like,
does.
And I think that's even like to tie it to comparison, like they live simple lives
Yeah.
in Europe, for example.
Yeah.
So that's why they can remain calm because they
Yeah.
don't stress
No.
about what they have to do
We got
tomorrow
the whole month of August
or what
off.
they did 5 minutes ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
They take naps from 1 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Love.
Like, just peace. And I
Yeah.
literally will never understand why we can't have that here, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think that's even
You can have it though.
Yeah, but it's
You
not
just have
not
to
as a
set-
society.
Yeah, like society will say, but again, like who cares about society?
No,
You gotta
100%.
do what
Like,
you gotta
personally,
do.
you can
Yeah,
have it.
personally,
for sure.
personally, anyone can get to that point.
Yeah.
They just have to make the decisions to get to that point.
Right.
And like Oprah says, the more you know your vision, the faster you'll get there.
Yeah, fair.
So the clearer you know where you're going and like the vision and like what you want to do in 5-6 years, the faster you get there, because then you'll start making decisions based on that one vision.
Yeah, which makes
And
sense.
like to me, I'm like my dream is be in Malibu.
Yeah.
And I want all my friends and families to have a dinner party at the beach.
That's sick.
And that's all I want.
That's sick.
I want a beautiful home there. And that's my goal. So I'm going to do everything I can to get to that.
Yeah, well, because now you have that established in
Yeah.
your head. But even speaking of like moving life fast, and I think I've said this to you before, I think it was a video or something online,
Yeah.
and he had went to Starbucks in New York,
Yeah.
and the day after went to Starbucks in LA. And in New York,
Oh, different vibes.
right?
Yeah.
He got there. He's like, the person walks in. They're like, yeah, hi, grande latte. This
Yep.
sugar. Okay, yeah, thank you. Ciao. He's like, I get to LA. It was all within 24 hours.
Everyone's
LA.
so kind.
He's like, I get there. The guy's like, hey, how are you? He's like, can I just get a grande latte
love it.
today? Like, just chill. He's like, then it makes me wonder, because New York is similar to Toronto.
Yeah.
So like, why?
Yeah.
Like, even there was someone else talking about it on another podcast I watched, and they had family come from Europe, and they couldn't understand the concept of us taking our coffee in the car and driving through a drive-through. Like, to them, it's like, why can't you just
That is so fair.
right? Why can't you
Yes.
just grab your coffee, sit, and enjoy
That
it?
is so
Why
fair.
are you rushing, drive through, going to work, drinking my coffee, it's spilling on me? They were tripping out. They spoke the whole podcast about it.
That is such
Right?
a valid point.
I didn't think about it till I heard that. I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, we're crazy.
Yeah.
Where we drive through a window to get a coffee. We can't even sit and enjoy
And
our
rush
coffee.
to the highway to get
Correct.
wherever we need to be.
Correct.
Sometimes I even forget my coffee's on the roof. I've done that a few times.
I've done that too. With a phone. Yeah. Or coffee on the thing and it falls.
Literally. Yeah, I've done that a few times. But
Isn't that
that
crazy though?
is so crazy. I love that.
Right? Different
Yeah.
perspective. Because we're used to it.
Yeah.
But to them, they're just like, why don't you sit? Enjoy
Yeah.
your coffee. Like, I'm like, oh,
Take
yeah,
a breather.
You're right. I didn't think about that.
Those
Today I
times-
was like, okay, I'll sleep in an extra 10 minutes. Okay, I'm driving up north an hour. Perfect. I'll just get a Tim's on the way, get a bagel as I'm driving. Meanwhile, like,
While your mind's running.
yeah, meanwhile, and then I'm like, okay, what am I going to film? Trying to eat my bagel, trying to drink my coffee, trying to change lanes. Like, sounds like, wow, sounds like I'm going to get into like
Crazy.
bad though, right?
Yeah, but again, like this is the season that you're in. You're in
Yeah,
your
yeah,
building
100%,
season. You should be so
100%.
proud of yourself.
Yeah.
And like you're doing the things. And next season, maybe in the next quarter, you do a calmer season and just
Yeah.
balance it out.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
all life
100%.
needs, right?
Well, yeah, like I definitely had a calmer season in the winter anyways. So
Right.
I don't mind the
Yeah.
chaos now. I just think it's interesting, like that notion. And that's why there's a lot of successful people that say their mornings are structured with
Yeah.
like routine,
For
whether
themselves.
it's journaling, meditation, workout, because it automatically gets your mind in this mindset
Yeah.
of stillness.
Yeah.
So you're starting your day still, because a lot of us, you don't sleep well, you wake up, you're off. And being in tune with your energy is big,
Yeah.
because now you know that if you woke up and you didn't sleep well, you'll feel it. I'll literally wake up and be like, I'm energetically off. Like
Yeah.
something, I gotta shake it,
Yeah.
right? Some people get that feeling but don't know what it is. So it's harder for them to maneuver it.
It's so funny. So I just went to an osteopath. Have you ever been to an osteopath?
No.
Osteopath? Oh my God.
Life-changing?
Life changing. The profession is beautiful. They really care about you because all they have is their hands.
Right.
Like there's no like objects and stuff like that. It's literally
Yeah.
their hands and the energy that they give you.
Right.
So so one day I go in there and I don't know if I told you this, but I just like literally quit my job
Yes, you
Yes.
did. Yeah,
I quit my job.
Massive.
and going into entrepreneurship and just full time. So proud of myself.
No, that's huge step.
Thank you.
Huge.
Thank you. And the day after I quit, I went to the osteopath in the morning.
Yeah.
And we're talking. I didn't tell her I quit at the time. And she's like doing her thing on me and like doing the osteopath stuff. And she goes, I feel that you slept really good tonight or last night.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, funny you say that. I just quit my job and I feel like a weight
Yeah,
has
you're like,
literally
"Ah."
been lifted off my shoulders.
Yeah.
And she literally was like, you can tell in your body and your head.
For sure.
And like just her touch
Yeah.
felt that.
Yeah.
So
Energy don't lie.
Nope. Energy never lies. I love that. Let's mark that.
All right. Done. It's marked.
That is if you get one thing out of this podcast,
Energy doesn't lie. I like that.
I love that.
But that's beautiful though. Like, see, because she's in tune.
Yeah.
And obviously you have a radiant energy.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
you're welcome. So you can like pick up on that, which is
Yeah.
really nice. And I'm so proud of you, first of all. I remember when I quit my job to entrepreneurship, game changer. So big kudos to yourself. That is not
Thank you.
easy to do. You're gonna like this path of entrepreneurship. It's not an easy one,
wild.
but it's always a worth it one.
So
could
worth
say
it. It's
that.
like choosing your hard.
Yeah.
And it gets me so excited because it's like now, this is so cliche, but the world is your oyster.
It's true.
And you can do anything. It's like you're betting on yourself.
Yep.
Right.
And
I
everything's
think-
for you.
Yeah. And like, again, like you just meet so many people. You have so much fun doing it. There's so much good in it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Wherever life takes us.
No, 100%. All right. Final question to wrap things up here.
Ooh.
What's one piece of advice you'd give your 16-year-old self?
16.
Grade 10-ish.
Grade 10.
Based off life now, what you know, where you're at, what would you tell yourself then?
Grade 10 Rita would be proud. Grade 10 Rita would be proud. I think I would give the advice of don't take things so seriously. Yeah.
I like that.
Don't take things so seriously. It's not that serious.
Yeah.
And it took me a while, but like life is just fun.
Yep.
And life is not like we're all going to die. That's a given.
Yep.
And that's scary. But it's like there's moments in life that are not serious.
Yeah.
And what people think of you shouldn't matter. It's like what if you truly love yourself, that won't bother you.
Yeah.
And I think young Rita didn't love herself for a few years.
All right.
But she's back.
She's back and she's better. She's glowed up.
She's on a journey.
She is. And honestly,
As we all are.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think that advice, first of all, is beautiful.
Yeah.
I think in high school, safe to say maybe like 90% of people go through a journey of
Yeah.
not loving themselves
Yeah.
because it's a big time of comparison.
And you don't realize until you actually love who you are.
Exactly.
And
Well,
that's
you also
the beauty.
don't really know who you are in high school.
Exactly.
So you're in that
Yeah.
middle ground.
And the more you know yourself, the more you embody who you are,
Yeah.
the more you fall in love with yourself. And then you're able to give love to others.
Correct.
I think that's the most beautiful thing too. Like you open your heart chakras up
Yep.
to actually loving others. And I think that is so special.
Yeah, 100%. I agree
Yeah.
with that. Well, thank you for
That was
coming on.
fun. Thank you for having me.
Of
You're
course,
so
of
amazing.
course. I'm definitely going to come on your podcast.
Yes.
I'm down. You got to
Alright.
check out Rita's podcast, first of all. I'm going to link all her links in all the bios and all the descriptions and all that jazz, okay? So you guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, share, do your thing. If you want to be on the pod, let me know. If you want to have a really cool conversation with a really cool person, DM Rita and be part of her community because I think everyone has a beautiful energy that will come out of them when they're around the right people with the right energy. So I will get that group chat going, first of all,
Yes.
or community or however you want to put
Such
it
a good
together.
idea.
Yeah, no,
Such a good idea.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I think it's amazing for what
Yeah.
you're trying to build.
100%.
So yeah, anyways, thank you
Thank you.
and catch you on the next episode.